back to the show with Ben and Lynn. I'm delighted to say we're joined by my friend, the broadcasting legend, Chris Tarrant, no less. Hello.
I'm never sure about this word legend.
Well, I thought you were going to say friend.
Very, very, very old. Here he is, the gibbering old fool.
So just before we move on, can I clarify, you've heard of ELO, haven't you? Because these two have... OK, and great?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
John Lennon always said that if they'd survived as the Beatles, they would be like ELO. Because they were very much in the, in the train of the Beatles.
Of course, that's your part of the world. So
have you heard of the Beatles?
Yes.
There you go. Rings a bell.
And they've also heard of you, crucially.
Good Lord.
So you'll know Chris from his time hosting Tiz Was from years on Capital Breakfast. What was that?
Just
15?
the 17.
17 years, wow.
But I missed my alarm clock so badly.
And then the icing on the cake, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for almost 20 years. Chris has stayed busy since retiring from the world of studio television, though. He has a new book out, which is here. And you will not believe what it's about, OK? It's called For the Love of Bears. And it's absolutely beautiful. It tells stories from his expeditions around the world to see bears in their natural habitats, including the most incredible photography. I'm hoping we've got some pictures from the book that we can show. Let's just put some up, and Chris, you can take us through it. There we are. So yes, you just looking at them.
Yeah, that river there is about 3 foot deep, so they could come across any time they want. And originally, when I first went out to Alaska, I was frightened. You know, I thought, it's not going to go within... See, there's one on the other side of the river. Yeah. Really and truly, when I first went to Alaska, the first time I went looking, I was fishing for salmon. And we saw a few bears, and I was very like, these are very big. I mean, look how close that one is. And it gets closer as well. And I was terrified. And a guy said to me, stay with the guide, talk to the guide. Look at that one, that's really close. Wow. That's really close. And of course, when that animal stands up, I mean, it can literally be, 12 foot they can reach up to. Really? He said, follow the guide, do what the guide tells you. Whatever you do, don't run. That's the absolute, whatever you do, don't run ever with any animal, with lion, gorillas or whatever. And just treat them with respect. They want to eat salmon. They don't want to eat you,
Is the bear hug their preferred means of killing? Is that...
No, not with them. I mean, one of the things I'm quite obsessed with them. I love grizzly bears and polar bears.
I love this picture. I'll just hold this up while you talk, yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. I'll tell you an interesting thing that happened to us. And I got over my fear, and I realised that in actual fact they would come, quite close to us, and they really aren't a threat. The female is very protective of her cubs. And we had a thing one evening where we sort of had dinner and went out where the sea comes into the river, right by the river mouth. And a very big female grizzly bear appeared with 2 tiny little cubs like that, and just sort of plonked them in front of us and went off down to the river to catch a salmon, which she then brought back. And I thought, this is really strange, because another thing is like, don't ever get near a mother and her cubs and all that stuff. And then she gave them the salmon. They sort of all chomped it and wandered off back to the woods. And I said to the guy, that's just weird. He said, I see that all the time. I said, what's that bear doing? He said, the biggest enemy for little cubs is a male grizzly bear. They eat them. If they can, they try and eat them. They kill them. Same with polar bears.
You were babysitting, basically, weren't you?
Well, sort of, yeah.
Wonderful.
So the mother bear is thinking, there were 3 of us all doing photographs on the shore, and the mother bear is thinking, my cubs are safer in the front of these blokes than just with me. So no male grizzly appeared at all. There's probably one almost certainly around.
Yeah.
And we are babysitting.
I love
They're
this picture.
very intelligent.
I'm going to hold this picture up because I just love the sort of thoughtfulness of the bear, looking to see anything to eat down there.
Yeah.
What is it that captured your imagination?
I think they're very intelligent. As I said, they're very bright. They are awesome in the real sense of the word, which is hugely misused. You talk to me, oh God, that's awesome. You think, no, these really are awesome, because they are beautiful, stunning, massive creatures, incredibly powerful. They're beautiful, but they will also kill you, and they will kill you in less than 20 seconds. The speed at which they just wipe us out is terrifying. But I love them. I love them. I also, as a kid, I loved them at the zoo. That was always, I went to see the big lions and all that, but I loved little bears. Love watching them.
On a different note, I'm going to show an upsetting photo in a second, because I know it's upset you and it's upset me. This is when people go and hunt, so-called trophy hunting, and they seem to get a kick out of shooting animals, these magnificent animals with high-powered rifles. This is one of the famous cases, so it's pretty upsetting. This is Cecil the lion, and it was this blooming doctor from somewhere.
And that's 10 years ago, that. Now, I assume, because that is an American thing, and it's a smug American dentist with lots more money than
Yeah,
sense.
that's not Cecil, it's a different one, but there we are. So.
Yeah, and I just assume that in the land that's voted for Trump twice, and the National Rifle Association, I went, yeah, it's just what Americans do. There's so much British trophy hunting still goes on.
Really?
And it's allowed to. We've been trying to stop it now for over 10 years. It was in the Queen's speech in 2019. Labour have said they'll do it. Every party has said they'll stop it, and they don't. Brits have killed over 100 lions since Cecil was murdered. We killed polar bears, just to bring them back stuffed and have them in your lounge. I wouldn't go into anybody's house who had a stuffed animal like that.
I mean,
It's
the defence will be someone says it's our local economy, we breed the animals, the tourists come in and pay lots of money and shoot them, and it all ends up sort of balanced.
They would make far more money, and they do make far more money, if people just came with cameras and the lions can live for years and years. Lions are now threatened. It's horrible.
I just hate that picture of just
I know.
the idea that it's a fair fight.
I feel quite ashamed to be British, if you like. We're doing it in this country.
Yeah.
We could even just stop them bringing them in. If we actually just stopped them bringing stuffed animals in, that would kill it at a stroke.
Are you going on another bear trip soon?
I tell you what, the last one was a bit hairy, but yeah, I probably will go back to Alaska soon.
Yeah.
I think.
So Alaska is the key place, is it?
Alaska and Northern Russia. Northern Russia? Oh, yeah.
Watch out there.
I'll probably skip that one for a while.
Tarrant in jail would not be a headline that we want to see. So the book is absolutely beautiful. I would say it's the ultimate coffee table book. That's not in any way.
Have you got a coffee table?
I have got a nice coffee table, and I will put this on it. If I'm allowed to keep it. So Chris's book is For the Love of Bears, available now. Do check it out to see more incredible pictures from his expeditions. And you basically take them all yourself, right? That's the key thing. Or you have people who take. Do you get your other teammates?
What, photos?
To take? Yeah.
Oh no, most of them. A mate of mine called Martin in Travel.
Okay.
I very good photographer.
Because the giveaway is that you are in some of the photos, so it would be difficult if you were taking.
It's quite tricky.
Okay, Chris, stay with us. Thank you. Congrats on the book. We'll look at some of the paper stories still to come, and Ben, the Daily Mail. We're still on Live Aid at 40, and people still being critical. And now Michael Burke has come in. He's the original reporter of the story, of course.
Yes, he's the man who covered the Ethiopian famine in the early 80s in such detail that it prompted Bob Geldof and others to launch the Live Aid campaign. He's hit back at some of the criticism of Live Aid. There's this kind of idea that it's sort of racist or it's colonialist, it's white saviorism. Michael Burke, rightly, I think, says if you're one of the people that was starving or is starving in somewhere like Sudan today, he says, you're not really that concerned about whether your saviour is white or black. It's rather obscene that people should go around talking about white saviours. Any saviour is very welcome.
Where has this thing come from? Because everyone now says what you've just said, which is there was just good people doing a good thing, and and they're being criticised 40 years on. What do you think of it?
I think the intention was good, but fast forward, it paved the way for many, if you'd like to call it, middle-class white hippie sorts going over to Africa and getting a picture moment, look at these starving kids in Africa, I'm here to help them. Now, I'm not saying that was their intention, but to a lot of African people, it is quite insulting because there's lots of technological and scientific advancements happening in various countries in Africa, and there's lots of wealth in Africa. Many African countries, their politicians are far wealthier than ours, and I think the whole idea of aid needs to be looked at. Yes, if people are suffering from natural disasters, that's one thing. But we need to empower these countries to kind of look after themselves. They're resource rich. And my thing is this, I rarely see white individuals go to white European countries and taking a picture with poor white kids. So it's quite distasteful. If you want to have a good intention to help people, oftentimes it's not a picture moment,
Let's bring in Chris. What do you think?
I think they raised 150 million 40 years ago. I mean, that's a huge amount of money. I think what Geldof and co did was fantastic, and I have no problem with it at all. I really don't see it as a white thing or whatever. As Burke says, you don't care when you're dying of starvation. You don't care if they're green,
Yeah, maybe it's just, I don't know.
Like I said, the intention was
Freddie,
fantastic.
let's just have a little moment to remember this is the greatest live performance in British rock history ever. Never, ever equalled. Can't believe I wasn't there. Oh, we thought he'd be around forever, didn't we? And then he goes, are we going to hear this? Can we hear him sing? Come on, listen. Oh, okay, Paul Weller, right. The trouble with all the other acts, as soon as Freddie had played that, it was just game over.
What a loss.
Yeah.
Poor old Simple Minds had to follow them, you know. So I see we've in a slight disagreement here, aren't we? I could
There were no African or Caribbean artists there as well, you know. And I think also some of the lyrics. There's at Christmas. There's not going to be any snow in Africa. Well, actually,
Nothing ever grows, no rain nor. I mean, it does paint
there
the
is
whole
a bit of
continent
ignorance. There's a
as
little
this-
bit of it, but that time I understand. Maybe people were ignorant, and hopefully we're less ignorant now. But
I agree. I actually agree with Lynn on that. It depicts Africa, the whole continent, as this sort of godforsaken hellhole. Whereas we need to be promoting it as a tourist destination, an investment
and let
destination.
them, you know, it's
I've been
that
to
whole
Africa.
saying
I've been
of
to many parts of
Yeah, but
Africa. It's
the part of
beautiful.
Africa
It's stunning.
they
There's
were
definitely
talking about
rain.
was an infested hellhole. I mean, it was, you know, Biafra and all that. It was horrific
They-
pictures.
it's
People
the
have never
hot-
seen pictures like that before.
It's the lyrics are there won't be snow in Africa this Christmas time where nothing ever grows. I mean, the whole continent is written off as just this sort of
I know.
barren, and it is damaging. I agree
just
with Lynn.
feel for
It
these.
is
Okay, so
damaging.
there's certain acts who were
damaging.
on, like say, let's say Spandau Ballet, and Tony Hadley was probably 20 at the time, you know, and he's just singing for charity as far as he's concerned. Now he's 40 years on, he's getting all this income. You think, what's this all about, you know? So I can see there's completely mismatched conversations going on here. We're
Maybe
all-
artists need to educate themselves. a bit
Yeah,
more
but
as
we
well.
can all learn from each other.
I
guess.
don't think that song would get put out now with those lyrics. I think that's probably
Yeah, okay,
times
okay.
have changed.
Yeah, let's be more progressive.
I hope you're enjoying our little discussions that we have here, Chris.
No, I'm just intrigued because basically what they did was a fantastic thing. And why 40 years later should we be knocking it?
Because you have to dig a bit deeper below the surface. It's like
40 years ago, they did it. It's over.
and
It's happened.
No, that's fine. But if we look through the lens of now, we can see that certain elements of it was ignorant. That's all we're saying. We're not saying that the intention wasn't good and they raised a phenomenal amount of money.
Or that it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, of
but
course.
it wasn't all good.
Yeah, it wasn't all good.
Okay. Chris has a story. I know climate change is close to your heart, Chris, because you've seen places where it is changing. And they say it's now, this is the real emergency, it's putting the British way of life at risk.
I think that's very extreme. They're talking about, I found this very odd. I'm a great supporter of the whole concept of, you know, doing something, whatever we can about global warming, etc., etc. But Ed Miliband's got him bold and he's saying it's ruining the British way of life. Well, because it's getting warmer. I mean, I'm sorry, but I really like this sunny stuff. I'm sorry, Ed. I think it's fantastic. And the British way of life used to be all huddling on the beach, freezing cold behind a sort of windbreak, trying to make a cup of tea in a howling gale. And now we have this sunny stuff. I think it's really nice.
Well, it's
I
funny.
don't have a problem with it. They're saying that. Well, they're saying the average temperature in this country has been going up 0.25% each decade for the last 10 years.
Degrees, no.
Degrees, sorry.
Yeah.
Which is nothing.
So for one
must
degree
be
every
more
40
than that.
years. I agree. It seems, I wouldn't notice that if it was going up 1 degree every 40 years.
No, of course you wouldn't.
No.
You know, that wouldn't be a problem. Also, apparently, according to Ed & Co, people will be able to apply for grants to fit air conditioning units. Can you imagine that happening? So it's a little old lady can't get any money for a heating, but she can get a new air conditioning unit.
I didn't, I mean, that
Nonsense.
is...
It's ridiculous.
That's wild.
It's scaremongering to pave the way for their net zero policy, let's be honest.
It's not. It's come from the Met Office. This warning. This is the independent weather.
Why is it a
forecast.
warning? Why is it a warning?
It's a warning, as they say, that extreme weather, these kind of extremes of hot and cold and wet, are becoming the norm, and they are
There's
because the
countries
climate's
that are far
changing.
hotter than that all year round. People are flocking to places like Dubai, which is like 40 at the moment, and
Where they have air conditioning in every unit.
No,
so
I
you can't say
understand
people
that, but
shouldn't
it's
have
only for a
aircon and then
week.
say
Like, we're not
we
going to
should be
get
allowed
more
Dubai.
than 10 days. And you can get brilliant little fans. More money at the expense of the taxpayer. Like you said, we're struggling in the winter to heat, and then we're going to have to be finding money for those who can't rely on the government for heat pumps and all sorts of... I just think it's too dramatic and to scare people.
If you were going to design a country that was exceptionally well positioned for climate change, it would be Britain, wouldn't it? Because we can take hotter summers and we can take colder winters quite easily. half of Spain is going to be a desert, as far as I can
And
tell.
that's the problem for us, because all the people that are fleeing the countries that you can't live in anymore are going to come to places
Well,
like
then
that,
it's
which,
going to
as you say,
basically reverse Brexit.
it's a
climate change.
migration
But then
crisis.
how do places like Canada deal with things? Like in the winter, I lived in Canada for 6 months. You have to dig your way out of your house. And then in the
But they got
summer, it's
space.
hotter than here. But my point is, there are countries in this world that can handle it. So why are we all crying? Britain seems to not be able to handle anything. Oh, in the fall, the leaves are on the track. We can't do anything.
I know,
oh,
that's
stop the sprinklers.
that was
Too hot,
30
too wet, too
years ago,
cold,
but-
Stop
too dry.
using water.
Was it the wrong kind of snow? What was the famous one, Chris, on the trains? Wrong kind of snow
Oh,
and
for
leaves on the
goodness
line.
sake.
On the line.
Leaves on the line.
can't do
I think
anything.
One time was the worst sort of sun.
It cracked.
The driver can't see or what.
This country, honestly.
If you say to
Rubbish.
people in Japan, or actually in Canada, where the railways run 365 days a year over the mountains, or whatever, if you say, yeah, we had big problems with leaves on the line, they'll just go, what?
They'll laugh at us.
Having a laugh.
There's a story. I couldn't believe this at the weekend. I saw. Maybe I've got a bit too sensitive. But Lynn, there's this advert from a British low-cost airline company that's gone viral on TikTok, and users are posting videos of chaos and randomness during vacations, which feature the company's catchphrase, "Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday." So that's me explaining a meme. So let's show this, shall we? This is Farage
Yes, yeah.
getting involved when he was out in the Channel looking at migrants.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. Package holidays you can trust. Abtrinatal protected.
Right, Lynn, your thoughts.
Okay, I can
Tasteless?
understand. I can understand where some people say it's tasteless, but I think it's a bit of a laugh. And it's, to be honest, Reform's marketing is spot on. You know, they've read the room. Many young people are watching Love Island. It's become a viral moment where
Love Island, is that where it's from?
During the ad breaks, this Jet 2, or just before Love Island comes back on,
Right.
this Jet 2 advert comes on, probably in conjunction with Love Island, where the lady's voice has become viral and people are dancing with her advert in the background. And now they've hauled her in, saying this Jet 2 holiday on festivals. And the comms at Reform have obviously thought, brilliant, we want to drum up support for our younger voters. Let's just put it on and show people.
Is anyone offended by it? Let me just say, Ben.
I think it's very funny.
Oh, there we
I
go.
think because in the end it's
I'm
the
not
Trump
offended.
thing, isn't it? Where you go for sort of a chaotic approach, and people say, "Yeah, that's how we all communicate with each other normally." So you're not offended by it, Chris?
No, not at all. But I just think, I almost think that Farage and co are peaking too soon.
That's what Mandelson says. You heard this story that
I don't
Mandelson,
like to agree with Peter Mandelson.
yeah, when
on
he's been
anything.
quoted from a lunch with J.D. Vance saying exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think for the people that, OK, as we're all not offended, for those who are offended, I can see why, though. You know, people are risking their lives, whether you agree or not. Human nature is to look for a better life. And for people that can actually die in the Channel, for him to put that and suggest that they're getting a free holiday to Britain, I can see why people would find it
Yeah, I mean, if
offensive.
that particular dinghy had gone down, that would have caused a problem.
Yeah.
The Times has a story which is about the animal charity PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. And it says, look, when you redesign banknotes, there's been all this talk about having different things on them. You mustn't put bulldogs on them because bulldogs have breathing problems. There we are. I mean, obviously that's serious, but it's maybe not the top worry of the moment. But PETA are another brilliant lot of campaigners. They raise things with a lot of imagination.
They are brilliant, but the British Bulldog, you know, screams Britain. And if we look at the British Bulldog...
When I say the word Britain, you think of a bulldog.
Yeah, and the bulldog breed.
Yes.
Ben,
or
or
the
the English
Churchill,
Rose,
the
or the
Churchill
St.
advert.
George's
The
Cross.
Churchill.
British Bulldog.
If you
Ben.
said,
What are any bears in Britain? We haven't got one.
it. But there's so many symbols.
yeah.
I just think
of
we're
great
That
being
flat-faced breathing issue, we've
Yeah.
had them in here, and honestly, it sounds like
Yeah, but then
Darth Vader.
you can say that about the pug, you can say that about the French bulldog, you can say that about the Boston
Yes, we have
Terrier.
done.
Like the majority of recent
not putting them
breeds
on
are
banknotes, are they?
man-made. So what do we do? Just go back to, like you said, a wild dinghy. Should we have a wild dinghy?
So
on the
bears on
bank?
banknotes.
Dingo.
Right? Chris, bears on
It's a
banknotes.
good idea, but they're not British, are they?
Yeah, you can.
Were there
we're
British bears
rewilding.
ever?
Yeah, a long time ago.
That's why they use the lion,
Even
don't
I don't
they?
remember.
Better time.
Even I, legend. I don't remember them, but yes, there were. Long
Chris,
time
thank
ago.
you so much for coming in. It's so nice to see you. For the Love
fun.
of Bears is the book.
Ding it all.
Available now. We'll have more after the break when Matt will join us. We'll hear about England women's 6-1 win over Wales and how a Norfolk woman found her long-lost brother by guessing his name. See you very soon.